Day 3. Okay. Yesterday we had just looked at the object-oriented programming concepts and we saw different drivers and all, how each driver can be used. Okay. Today we are going to talk about the concept of interfaces. Okay. Look, the thing is, every driver class is separate. Okay. So does that mean that for every driver you will have to write a different code? Okay, if you have to click a link on Firefox and if you have to click a link on Chrome after that, and if you have to click a link on I, will the process be different? Okay, right. So the answer to this question is simply no, the process is not different. Okay, the way you code in Chrome is same as the way you code in Firefox or other browsers. What I mean to say is that I'll explain you with the help of a new Java project. Okay, and I'll go to the properties of this project and add the jar files of Selenium in this. Alright, so for example, I'll make a new class, launch browser. Right. Now suppose you have to write a code and the code should be such that if I have a variable, alright, then whatever is the value of this variable, the browser should be opening accordingly. So if the browser is Mozilla, then whatever browser I open, the browser should be open, the Mozilla browser should open and all the commands to be fired on that browser. Tomorrow if the browser is Chrome and whatever script I'm writing after this out here, that script should run on Chrome. So just by changing one parameter, I should be able to write a dynamic script. Okay, general logic says that's fine. I can use if statement. I can write over here that's fine. If the browser is equal to Mozilla, then you can write Firefox driver. Okay, right. Then else if the browser is equal to Chrome, then you can initialize your Chrome driver. Okay, right. Similarly, for maybe you can do it for I as well. If the browser is I, then Internet Explorer driver object you can make. All right, fine. So you can make object of I, you can make object of Chrome, and you can make object of uh, Firefox as per your needs, right? And you can take, you can open the browser. Okay, now after opening the browser, you have to take the website to a certain URL. Okay, for that you can write Firefox driver over here dot get to http yahoo.com and Chrome driver dot get to http yahoo.com. Okay, and after that iDriver dot get to http yahoo.com. If I have to click on every link, any link on the browser, so I'll have to write the command to click on the link over here using Firefox, then click using Chrome, click using I out here. Okay, right. So, but does this make sense? Does this make sense that for every browser, I'm writing different code out here, which will actually be clicking on the element in that browser? Okay, right? It actually doesn't make sense writing this kind of a code which will be different for every browser. Okay, right? So it really doesn't make sense. All right, fine. So how do I write a code which is dynamic, which will uh, work on all the browsers? Okay, I just have to change the parameter over here and it can work. So the answer to this question comes up from the concept of interfaces in Java. Okay, interface is something which gives you an idea about the system. Okay, for example, if you look at a book, right, just by reading the cover face of the book, you understand what the book is all about. Okay, so the cover face of the book is like an interface to you, which tells you what the book is offering. Okay, right. So you really don't know how the book is going to be, but just by looking at the cover face, you decide whether it is for you or not. So cover face is an interface to you. Okay. So in Java, you can also create interfaces. I can go to new interface and I'm going to call this interface like, um, for example, I'll call it car. Let's talk simple. Okay, right. What are the properties of a car? What are the features of a car? All right. A car can start, a car can stop, and refuel. So in interfaces, we give abstract methods or incomplete methods. You just have to declare them. Okay, you just don't need to give an interface body. Just by looking at these methods, a third person can understand that what are the features of the car, like start, stop, refuel. Okay, what are the features of the car class? Okay, right. So I'll create a new class out here to make you understand that how interfaces are used. Okay, we just have methods over here. You will not give the methods their body. Okay, right. I'll create a new class known as test car. Okay, and in Java, what we write is that public class test car implements the car interface. So you write like this, that this class is implementing the interface car. Okay. If you move the mouse over the error, you can add the unimplemented function. Okay, you will get the option. You're getting an error over here. Okay. The error is simply because you'll get the fix that add the unimplemented methods. But why this is coming? Okay, if a class is implementing an interface, then it becomes mandatory for that class to implement all the functions and features of that interface. Okay, if test car is implementing the car interface, then test class has to mandatorily implement all the functions of the interface. Otherwise, you will get an error. Okay, so move the mouse over the error and you will get the fix. Add the unimplemented methods. Okay, you can add these functions, right? So you have to add functions in this class. You'll have to add functions. Okay, all the three. If I remove any one, you will get an error. So if a class is implementing an interface, it is mandatory for that class to implement all the functions of the interface. Okay, what is this at the rate override? This is just an annotation. Okay, you can remove it as well. It's not mandatory, but it is there to tell a layman who has who's just looking at your code for the first time. If somebody looks at your code for the first time, just by looking at this at the rate override, he will understand that this function is coming up from this interface. Okay, right. Inside this function, I'm going to type test car starting, test car stopping, test car refuel. So if you run this code, okay, if I run this code, then hold on. Oh, sorry, you cannot run this because it's got no main function. I'll have to create a main function. I'm sorry about this. Okay, it executed the earlier one. Right. So, right. So out here, oh, these are the three functions in the interface. Okay, and uh, you can put their methods. You can declare their methods. You can put anything in them. Right. Suppose if I make a new class. Okay. If I make a new class known as a fast car. Okay, and I can write over here fast car also implements the car interface. So if a class is implementing an interface, so it will be mandatory for it to implement all the functions, right? So you add the unimplemented methods, right? They will be added, and you can write out here fast car starting, fast car stopping, and fast car refueling. Okay, right. So you can give the methods their respective bodies. Okay, look, what did I achieve out of this? What I did was I created this, hold on. I created one interface. Okay, interface was car interface. Okay, and there were classes, two classes, which implemented this interface. Okay, so whatever functions were there in the interface came up in these two classes. So what did I achieve out of this? I could have never made the interface and I could have just made these two classes. Okay, what I achieved? Look, what happens is that if suppose tomorrow any other car classes are made, okay, all of them will be implementing this interface, and whatever are the functions in the interface, the function names will remain the same. The implementation of the functions can be as per the class. Okay, but the names of the functions in every class, it remains the same. So interface gives a kind of discipline to the system, a kind of structure to the system, that whatever are the functions of the interface, the same functions will be present in the implementing classes. Okay, right. So if I go to my Selenium documentation, okay, hold on. If I open browser and if I go to the official website of Selenium and I go to the documentation, right? If you scroll down, whatever is written in italics, all the class names which are written in italics are interfaces. Okay, so in this document, all the classes which are written in italics are just guys, just give me 1 minute. So whatever is there in italics in this documentation is actually an interface. All right, fine. For example, if you scroll down, if you scroll, oh, there is something known as mouse. So mouse is an interface which represents the basic mouse operations. And these are the two implementing classes. Right. Similarly, in Selenium, you have got Webdriver. Webdriver is nothing but it is an interface. Okay. And these are the implementing classes, Chrome driver, Edge driver. Okay. So if you scroll down, it will tell you that these are the functions in the WebDriver interface. For example, close, find element, get. Okay, these functions are there to interact with the browser. Right, get the title of the browser. Right, okay. So all these implementing classes will have the same function names which are there in the WebDriver interface. Okay, so out here also, whatever were the functions in the car interface were present in both these classes. So that means if I go back to my launch browsers, if it's Firefox driver, if it is Chrome driver, or if it is Internet Explorer driver, all of them will be having same set of functions. Okay, right. So out here, suppose if I have to get the title of the browser, I can write system.out.println and driver dot get of the Chrome driver. Oh, it's Firefox. Sorry, Firefox driver dot get title. So this will give you the title of the browser. If you are using Chrome, then Chrome driver dot get title. If you are using IE, then iDriver dot get the title. Right. So if I run this code, it will open Mozilla and get the title. But the problem still persists. Although the function names, okay, see, it's going to Yahoo, it will print the title in some time. The functions are same, get function, get title function, okay, get and get title. For every browser, functions are same. But why do I have to write separate piece of code for every browser? Okay, I am coming over to that right now, that how can I write a single piece of code? Okay, I don't have to rewrite my commands for every browser. How do I do that? Okay, again, the answer to this question comes from interface only. Okay, there are two advantages of interface. One, I have told you that you can have the same set of function names in all the implementing classes, which is happening. Another use of interface, I'm going to tell you, I'll create a new class known as test.java. In this, I will create object of, say, test car. Okay, and also I will create the object of fast car. Now test car and fast car, both of them were implementing the car interface. Okay, I can call the functions dot start, dot refuel, and stop. And for fast car also, I can call the functions. The function names are same, but the way you implement the functions, okay, it is different for every class. So if I run this code, you will be getting an output like this, that test car starting, test car stopping, and refueling. Similarly, fast car starting, refueling, and stopping. Okay, right. So now I'm going to create the object in little different way. Okay, listen to this carefully. Okay, I'm going to put a demarcating line. Right. Now, before that, one thing, if my fast car class has a function known as public void GPS, okay, and I print inside it GPS service of fast car. Now, this is a function which is not coming from interface. This is its own function, proprietary function. So a class can also have functions apart from the interface in it. Okay, I can access those functions out here. I can access it in fastcar. I can write fastcar dot GPS. But I cannot do it in testcar because testcar is not having GPS facility. Okay, but the remaining functions which are coming from the interfaces, they will be there in both of them with their own implementation. But obvious. Okay, pretty simple. Right. Now I'll create the object of the car class of the say fast car class like this. Car C1 equals to new fast car. Now this is different. This line is different than this line. Over here I have taken the reference of an interface and pointed it towards the object implementing the interface. How is this different from this? Okay, this is the interface reference and this is the class which is implementing this interface. Okay, if I write over here C1 dot I can call start function. Okay, if I run this code, this is going to print fast car starting, fast car refueling and stopping out here as well. But I cannot write C1 dot GPS. It is not allowed. If you create the object of the class and equate it to the or the interface reference point towards the object, only call the functions which are there in the interface and implemented by the car. Okay, and implemented by the class, sorry. If a class is implementing an interface and if you create an object like this, then you can only call the functions which are there in the interface and implemented in the class. You cannot call the proprietary function. But what is the use of writing like this? Okay, what did I achieve out of this? I'm coming over to that. Look at this carefully. I can also write car C2 equals to new test car. So C2 is pointing towards test car. Maybe on my choice, I can make C2 point towards new fast car in the next line. Okay, right? It's my choice. I can make C2 point towards test car. I can make C2 point towards fast car. Okay. I can, if I write C2 dot start over here and if I write C2 dot start over here, this will call the start function in the test car because C2 was pointing towards test car now. Once you move it to some other class, so you can make it, this will call the function of the fast car. So if you run this code, You see that? Hold on, I'll put a demarcating line, and if I run it again, you will see that. See, test car starting, fast car starting. The command is same, c2.start, but it depends where c2 is pointing to. I can also write like this, car c3 equals to null. That means c3 is not at all pointing towards any object. Okay, based on my choice, I can write c3 equals to new test car, or c3 equals to new fast car. Okay, so c3 was not pointing anywhere. Based on my decision, I am making c3 point towards test car or fast car object. Okay, right. So similar thing we do in Selenium as well. Okay, we know Webdriver is interface, and Firefox driver and Chrome driver and all these driver classes, they are implementing the interface. We used to create the objects like this. Firefox driver equals to new Firefox driver, or Chrome driver equals to new Chrome driver. So instead of the classes reference, you can keep the reference of WebDriver interface equals to new driver class. Okay, maybe on the next line I'll point say the same Chrome driver to new Internet Explorer driver. Okay, we'll take the reference of the WebDriver interface so that it can be pointed towards any driver class. We can declare like this, WebDriver driver equals to null. Based on our choice, we can make driver point towards any particular driver class. I can make driver point towards new Chrome driver, Firefox driver, iDriver. Okay, it's my choice. And that's what will solve our problem to launch the browser dynamically. Okay, if you are not able to get this, please let me know. You can ask a question, you can chat with me on the chat option. Okay, if you are not able to get this, let me know. Alright, so you have the driver, okay, which is pointing towards objects of different classes. Alright, and that's exactly what we are going to do out here in in our, okay, I closed that. Okay, launch browsers.java. We will not write code like this. Okay, I will never write code like this separately for every driver class. I will declare my WebDriver reference. I'll write over here WebDriver Okay. And based on my choice, I will make driver point towards Firefox driver, Chrome driver, iDriver. So once the browser is initialized, the commands are same. I can write a driver dot get. So whatever browser the driver is pointing to, that browser will reach this website. Okay. And then driver, you can print the title. The advantage is just by changing this variable, later on we will be reading this variable value from an Excel file or from a properties file, external file. Right now I have kept it like this. So just by changing this variable, the browser will change. If I run this, this is going to open Mozilla and it will take you to, okay, Yahoo. And if I make it to Chrome, this will open Chrome. If I run this, see that it opens Chrome. Right. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay, so you can launch dynamic browsers. All right. And you can write a single script which will work on all the browsers. Now, suppose if I have to interact with the web page, I have to type somewhere or I have to click, right? So we will be talking about that later on. I won't start off with it today because I don't have enough time for this right now. Okay, so now comes the next part. Once you have dynamically launched the browser, you have created the objects, you have reached the website. Now you need to interact with the elements of the site. Right, so how do I do that? We will take that tomorrow. Okay, in tomorrow's class, I'm